Hello friends, thanks for clicking and welcome to my channel only for civil engineers. In this video we will discuss about structure of timber. As we know that we get timber from tree, so firstly we will see parts of tree. A tree basically consists of three parts, that is stem, roots and crown. So in this image we can see parts of tree, that is this is the crown, this is the stem and these are the roots. So firstly we will see about stem. In this image, we can see this is the stem and this stem supports this crown and supply water and nutrients from these roots to the leaves through the branches and from leaves back to the roots. Second part of tree is root. In this image, we can see these are the roots and these roots implants tree in the soil to absorb water and mineral substances and supply it to stem. Third part of tree is crown. In this image we can see this is the crown and this crown consists of leaves and these branches. From visibility aspects, structure of tree can be divided into two categories. First one is microstructure and second one is macrostructure. So firstly we will see microstructure. The structure of wood apparent only at great magnification is called the microstructure. So this image shows the microstructure of wood. When studied under the microscope, it is clear that this wood consists of living and dead cells of various sizes and shapes. Now we will see about macrostructure. The structure of timber visible to naked eye or at a small magnification as shown in this image, it is known as macrostructure. Macrostructure of the timber can be studied by cutting the trunk in three directions. First one is cross-sectional, second one is longitudinal and third one is radial. So in this image we can see this is the cross-section of timber, this is the longitudinal or tangential section of timber and this one is the radial section of timber. Detailed cross-section views of the trunk of an exogenous tree is shown in this image and its different components are pith, heartwood, this is the sapwood, then next one is this is the cambium layer, this is the inner bark, this is the outer bark and these are the medullary rays. Now we will see these components one by one in detail. So firstly we will see about pith. Innermost central portion or core of the tree is called the pith or medulla. So this image shows the cross section of timber and here we can see this is the pith, which is the innermost central portion of core of tree and it is also known as medulla. This pith varies in size and shape for different types of trees. Pith consists of entirely of cellular tissues and it nourishes the plant in its young age. As the plant becomes old, this pith dies up and decays and the sap is then transmitted by the woody fibers deposited round the pith. Second component is heartwood. Inner annular rings surrounding the pith constitute the heartwood. So in this image we can see this is the heartwood, which is the inner annular rings surrounding this pith. As shown in this image, this heartwood is usually dark in color. In this image we can see this is the heartwood. So this heartwood indicates dead portion of tree and as such it does not take active part in the growth of tree. This heartwood imparts rigidity to the tree and hence this provides strong and durable timber for various engineering purposes. Third component is sapwood. Outer annular rings between heartwood and cambium layer is known as the sapwood. So in this image we can see this is the sapwood, which is the outer annular rings between these heartwood and this cambium layer. This sapwood is also known as alburnum. In this image we can see this is the sapwood, and this sapwood is usually light in color as shown in this image, and it is also light in weight. This sapwood shows recent growth and it contains sap. These annual rings of sapwood are less sharply defined than those of this hardwood. This image shows actual cross section of timber, and here we can see this is the sapwood. So this sapwood takes active part in the growth of tree, and the sap moves in an upward direction through it. Fourth component is cambium layer. Thin layer of sap between sapwood and inner bark is known as the cambium layer. So in this image we can see this is the cambium layer, which is the thin layer of sap between this sapwood and this inner bark. This cambium layer indicates sap which has yet not been converted into sapwood. If this bark is removed due to any reason, the cambium layer gets exposed and the cells cease to be active, resulting in the death of tree. Fifth component is inner bark. Inner skin or layer covering the cambium layer is known as the inner bark. So in this image we can see this is the inner bark, which is the inner skin or layer covering this cambium layer. In this image we can see this is the inner bark, and this inner bark gives protection to this cambium layer from any injury. Sixth component is outer bark. Outer skin or cover of the tree is known as the outer bark. So in this image we can see this is the outer bark, which is the outer skin or cover of tree. In this image we can see here this is the outer bark, and this outer bark is the outermost protective layer, and it sometimes contains cracks and features as shown in this image. This outer bark consists of cells of wood fiber, and it is also known as the cortex. Next component is medullary ray. Thin radical fibers extending from pith to cambium layer are known as the medullary rays. So in this image we can see this is the pith, this one is the cambium layer. So these thin radical fibers extending from this pith to this cambium layer are known as medullary rays. In this image we can see these are the medullary rays, and these medullary rays, function of these medullary rays is to hold these annual rings or growth rings of this hardwood and sapwood. These medullary rays are sometimes broken, and in some varieties of trees they are not very prominent. And last component is annular rings or growth rings. These are concentric layers of wood known as growth rings or annular rings. So in this image we can see these are the growth rings, which are the concentric layers of wood. During growth season, the wood added during the early part, this is the early part, is different from the wood added during this late part. Here we can see this is the early wood and this is the late wood. So this early wood is softer, coarser and more porous than this late wood. These growth rings are apparent because of this difference between this early wood and late wood. In some trees, such differences may not exist. In such cases, these growth rings may not be distinct and may not be annual. These growth rings are particularly distinct in the case of coniferous woods. So this is the video is finished. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. For more updates, subscribe my channel and don't forget to share this video with your friends.